Hey there, how's everybody today? Today we're doing macaroni and cheese in the crock pot. And this is the dish that if you're making it for Thanksgiving, you're gonna do on Thanksgiving Day. And really, you just gotta throw everything in here and you check on it a couple times. And then it's gonna be done and ready for you. And that's really all you have to do. And I am told that there's parts of the country where they don't do macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving. But in my part of the country, we do macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving dinner. And if it's something you want to add, I'm sure your children will love it. So I just love about this that it's a fix and forget kind of thing. I don't even have to boil my pasta. We're just going in with uncooked pasta. Now, I think it's better if you do uncooked because then the pasta just cooks up and incorporates all of that goodness into it. And if you cook your pasta ahead of time, then the pasta's kind of cooked and kind of separates. It doesn't really mingle as well together when you make it in the crock pot. Now, if I was on Anchor, I would not be able to use my crock pot, but we are on shore power today, so we're going to show you the Crockpot mac and cheese. And some simple ingredients: we have cheese, we have butter, we have cream, milk, and some spices, and some, obviously, some macaroni. So I have an 8-ounce block of cream cheese, and I'm just going to cut that into some cubes. And then I'm going to shred some cheese. Now I am doing 2 8-ounce blocks of cheddar and 1 8-ounce block of mozzarella. You can spice this up and do a pepper jack. You could do a Colby jack. This is just kind of the combination that I like. And I have to tell you, you have to do, okay, you don't have to, but you really should grate your own cheese. The cheese that you're gonna find that's already shredded, because of that anti-caking agent they put on it, this type of macaroni and cheese in a crock pot, it's going to get gritty. That caking agent's going to get gritty. And a lot of those caking agents will say cellulose. Well, I have to tell you, cellulose is just like powdered wood pulp. So I just prefer to grate my own cheese. And then when I'm buying my yellow cheese, if I buy yellow cheese, I make sure that the yellowing part that they make it yellow with is annatto, because annatto is natural. And some of them, if you buy the least expensive of the cheddar cheeses, are going to be colored with yellow dyes. And the yellow dyes are just super, super harmful and cancerous, and just something you want to stay away from. And then we're going to do 1/4 cup of butter, and again we're going to cut that up into cubes. So now we're ready for the assembly, and you want your crock pot on low. You cannot do this on high or the macaroni would just get super mushy. And I like just to wipe a little butter around, and I think that helps keep it from sticking, and it really makes cleanup easier. And the first thing we're going to do is whole milk, and we're going to do 2.5 cups of whole milk. Somebody just sit through a wake. Can you see me rocking? And then we're going to do 1 cup of heavy cream. And then we're going to go 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. 1 teaspoon dry mustard powder. I had a hard time opening that, so we got a teaspoon dry mustard powder. Cayenne, just a pinch. Just a little dippity dash of cayenne. And this is something that you can absolutely leave out. I'm going to add a little turmeric. And honestly, I'm only adding the turmeric. I just want to do about 1/2 teaspoon because I want this to be a really that macaroni orange color that you're familiar with. And honestly, that's just because I want to be able to take a picture of it and it actually look like macaroni and cheese. Now, I like white pepper for this. I don't see the black pepper flakes running through it, and it's kind of got a different kind of a kick to it, the white pepper. So I'm going to do about 1/4 of a teaspoon of white pepper. And I'm going to do a good pinch of kosher salt or 2. A few splashes of hot sauce. And then we're going to whisk that all up. Boat's still kind of rocking there. Now I would do this probably 3 hours before you want to start dinner. You can absolutely, when this is done, switch it to warm and keep it warm, but I really wouldn't keep it warm for hours because the macaroni and cheese again is just going to get really over soggy and mushy. Now, all crock pots are a little bit different and all of them cook a little bit different, even, you know, because you put it on the low setting. But this is going to take between 2 and 2.5 hours to be done. All right, next we're going to go in with our chunks of butter and just randomly splash them around in there. And then our cream cheese. And then next we want 1 pound of macaroni. Now, if you do substitute out a different kind of pasta, you really can't do something thin here or egg noodle or anything like that. You still want to do like a penne or something that's still got some structure to it. Otherwise, it's just going to overcook. And then we're going to top that off with all that beautiful cheese that we shredded, and in no particular order. And I'm just going to sprinkle this across the top. Let it sit like this. Lid on. Set your timer for an hour. And then we're going to come back and give it a stir. So here we are at that hour mark. And we're going to stir. It sure does smell good. And you really want to give this a good combining. And you can see how that cheese is melting and how that sauce is starting to make. So I'm going to put the lid back on. And then I'm just going to let it be for another 30 minutes and then we'll come back and check on it. Okay, so here we are after another 30 minutes. We're going to stir that again. And now you can see that macaroni looks like it's pretty close to being done. So I'm going to grab me one of those out there to see how it is. And now this time when I stir, I really want to stir well because you saw it looked like it was kind of gritty to start. But when I stir it, it brings it all back together and smooths it out. Okay, so the macaroni's still a little tough. But now I'm going to start checking in 15-minute increments. Because it's getting really close. So here we are at another 15 minutes. So we are at a total of 1 hour, 45 minutes. And I imagine it is pretty close to being done. We're just checking our noodle softness. And now keep in mind, it's going to keep softening up. If you were to stop it now and put it on warm, maybe you have an hour to go till dinner. These noodles are going to keep getting soft, so you'd be safe to do that. They're soft, but they're not soft enough. But our cheese sauce looks great. We don't have any separation. The noodles are just encased in all that cheese sauce. But I think I'm going to go another 15 minutes. All right, so here we are. We are 2 hours in and just look at that perfection. You see how beautiful that is? I don't know if you can tell, but it really does look good. So I'm calling this one done at 2 hours. Again, depending on your crock pot, you could be an hour and a half, you could be two, you could be 2.5 hours. But I would start 3 hours before I wanted to eat, and that way you can put it on warm for a little bit if you need to, and you don't have to worry about it getting cut short. Yeah, tastes like cheesy, delicious mac and cheese. And just how simple is that? That is going to help make your Thanksgiving Day so easy, just to know that you can throw all of this in your crock pot and get on with all your other things. So now do you see just how much that 1 pound bag of macaroni made? It's a lot of macaroni and cheese. So I'm coming to the end of this Thanksgiving 2.5 week marathon that I have been on to show you to cook, how you can cook Thanksgiving dinner all from scratch. And of course, this is another dish that doesn't need to wait for Thanksgiving. You can make this any old time. So we're coming to the end. I want to thank everybody who has followed along, who has made comments, given me thumbs up, and just really supported me through this. It's been a long journey. I appreciate all of you. I'm going to see you again soon. And until I see you then, safe cruising.